So our next speaker, I met 15 years ago at the posh JW Marriott Desert Ridge in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale suburb. Beautiful. And he's there. He's looking good. What I didn't know is he spent the night before in the desert on a horse with no name. No. He put his luggage in the desert. He couldn't afford a room. And he slept in the desert until security found him and drug him. He said, you just can't sleep in the desert on our property. And somehow, some way, he found someone who would let him sleep on a couch. But anybody been there? Maybe this last night, right? So I remember meeting him, and you think he's loaded just because you're at a posh resort, and he's on this nice chaise lounge, and you're there, and you didn't know that they're struggling. I've spent the night in my car at events. Okay, it was 30 years ago, but I've done it. So fast forward, he moves to Dorado a year ago, saved a little money on taxes, rents a place, doesn't know anything about Puerto Rico. This is not Gene Frederick. At the last minute, because he's smart, he's one of the smartest people I ever meet, he goes, hey, by the way, can I get a lease option on that next year to buy it for $6 million? And the guy goes, sure. And he looks like he's exercising that option this month. But the home appreciated in 1 year to $12 million. So help me welcome the smartest man I know in the room, besides Glenn Sanford, Mr. Michael Reese, everybody, and a good dude.
All right, so we're going to go quick and fast. We don't have a lot of time. We got 43 slides and I think 20 minutes. The clock hasn't started, so we're going to just jump right into this. Today's presentation, it's Win Before You Start. How do we set up our agent partners for success at EXP? This is a real easy presentation for me because this is actually what I do every day. And I'm kind of giving you a backstage pass to what I've done, what over time through several iterations has worked best for me. First, write this down, expectation versus agreements. One of the things that you're going to find yourself really dissatisfied with agent recruiting is if you bring someone over to the company and they have if you care, and they have a bad experience, it doesn't really make it fun. What makes it fun is when you bring people over and they're happy and they're having success. And so in order to have success for people, you have to get agreements with them up front. If you don't set somebody's expectation and get an agreement about what things are going to happen, you can't exceed them. So that's something very important. I'm going to walk you through this two different ways. Agent attraction, right, starts on day one. Agent retention starts on day one. So if you want agents to be productive, if you want to retain them, all of that starts the first day. It's never, it's almost like if you mess up day one, everything could be playing catch up. You could lose somebody. So having a system and a process is extremely important. For me, here's the goal. It's to have clear communication. You want to give that experience to people a lot of the times. You want to make sure you're getting your agents to the value as quickly as possible. So for me, and I know this happens to a lot of people, when I do a presentation for somebody, or maybe they've seen the video and they're asking questions, a lot of the times they're going to say, almost 99% of the time, they're going to say, so what's the next step, right? I met with the guy yesterday. He's here in the audience. His wife had messaged me on Messenger, just got a real estate license. We went down to the restaurant. We're in the middle of the lunch, and he literally said, what's next? And literally what's next is I send an email that says the next steps. So I'm going to walk you through that process. Here's the thing. I do this with people. If I'm on a presentation, I don't talk to anyone who hasn't seen the offer already. But if I'm talking to a new agent and they don't say what's next, then I actually say it for them. I say, so let me walk you through what the next steps would be. Okay? So I wait for them to say it and they're committed to ready to move forward, or they're not really feeling it. And maybe they're not, I can't read them. I don't know what's going on. And I'll say, well, let me just walk you through, and this is called future pacing. Now, I learned this concept from, who knows Brian Moses? Great guy. I thought a lot more people would say they knew him. Anyway, Brian Moses is a good guy. Tim Grubbs was up here. He was my mentor he was the #1 agent in my office. He owed the KW in 2002 when I got into real estate. And I used to go on home tour with Tim. And Tim was the #1 individual producer for KW the year I started in real estate. I remember in August he had done 31 transactions, which was kind of impressive. And so I learned something from both Brian and Tim. They were really good at working with buyers. And basically what Tim would tell me, and Brian said as well, it was real similar, is Tim would literally, he was kind of, if you know Tim, he's kind of, I don't know, kind of a heckler, jokester, if you will. I'd say, hey, Tim, how you doing? He'd say, better than most, right? And so Tim, when I'd ride with him, he'd kind of mentor me and teach me, and he said, listen, buyers work in gears, and you have to learn how to move them to the next gear. And so a lot of that resonated with also with agent attraction. And one thing I saw Brian do actually in a training when he came and worked at NAEA is he was training someone, and I had never heard this concept, but he was telling the person that when he got back, he had a process, and when he got back, he was going through the buyer process, and he said when he got back to the office, he'd bring them into the office, and even if they didn't see a house they liked, he would say, I want to walk you through the process of what it's like to make an offer when we do find a house that you like. So he was really making that ability to take the next step easier for them, because maybe they didn't want to write an offer on that house, but since they knew the process and he kind of walked them through and showing them how easy it was, it helped them make that next step. So I took this from these two individuals and I applied it to the agent attraction strategy, which is basically future pacing them, showing them how simple it is to take the next step. So this deck really that I'm walking you through would be like, hey, what happens next, okay? So when someone says, hey, what happens next? I tell them they got to do the EXP application. I tell them we're going to do a production kickoff call. We're going to actually do a production plan and meeting. We actually build funnels for everybody. That my value proposition is real easy. When someone partners with me, I feel like it's my job to make their phone ring. That's my job. My job is to make their phone ring, whether it's the ring with buyers, ring with sellers, or ring with agents wanting to know more about EXP. So when I meet with them, I tell them that's my job. If you talk to, I've had people call me back and say, hey man, can you make my phone stop ringing? But that's what we do. Literally, we make their phone ring. We do live training and boot camps. I tell them that's going to happen next. We go through agent attraction training. We do a game plan call. I take them through 3-way call training. We schedule their Facebook live announcement. And finally, we plug them into all of the events like this, okay? So the main thing you can do is let your people know. If you have somebody that's interested in agent attraction and they're in your downline and they don't know about this event and they're not here, that's your fault. That's your responsibility. You should make sure everybody in your group knows about the events and what next events are coming up. So what happens next? The EXP application, I tell them, listen, you're going to get an email. It's going to say next steps. There's going to be a link to the application. They're going to have the sponsor's information. I'm going to include a lot of other helpful links, but I'm showing them the email, right? I'm future pacing. I'm showing them exactly what's going to happen. Then I say, you're going to complete the application. After you complete the application, you're going to get a code. What I want you to do with that code is I want you to send it to me, and I want you to send it to Tracy or Rebecca. They're two individuals that help us with onboarding agents. After that, I tell them about the EXP guest pass to the world again, and then I tell them about naming their sponsor, but you can see I'm making it visual for them, right? I'm making it visual. I'm making it really easy for them to understand. And if this slide or this screen changes, my goal is to update the slides. We're constantly updating slides. If the process changes, if the email changes, this is a living document. If the process changes, the slides are going to change, right? I tell them how they're going to name their sponsor. I tell them if they can't find the person exactly, obviously a lot of the times they're not going to name me because sometimes I'm doing these for other people. And so I'm going to tell them if you can't find your person, I walk them through the process on how to find that. I tell them they're going to have to complete the ICA. After you complete the application, you'll get an independent contractors agreement. You'll sign the ACA and choose to start. I walk them through 100% of the time. I always walk them through the fees again. A lot of the times this is real quick. Remember, we covered it's 80-20 split, $16,000. I'm not assuming they already know that, because if I assume they know that, and I've had people literally tell me something back that was wrong, and that might have been an objection. That might have been something holding me back. So I walk them through this. I ask them if they have any questions about it, And then a lot of the times people are going to ask the question, so who's going to be my broker? I don't let them ask that question. I walk them through the process. Hey, you're going to be able to meet your designated broker. I explain to them how it works in workplace. Some of the times there has been times where people say, well, can you tell me who it is for my state? And I'll literally be on the Zoom. I'll log into workplace. I'll find them. And a lot of the times, there's probably a handful of brokers that I've called, but sometimes I'll send them over a message and say, hey, but I'm trying to show them how easy it is. I'm trying to demonstrate, right, how easy it is going to be connect with their broker. I remind them all the time that they'll have my cell phone number. They're my partner. I literally say this every single time. If you think about calling me, you should have called me. If you think I should call you, maybe I should call Mike, that means you should have called me, right? I want them to feel that connection, that they can call me anytime, anywhere. I'll take their call, and I say, if I don't answer, I promise I'll call you back. I let them know that Tracy and Becky are going to be there to walk them through the process. And the main thing is I'm trying to get them comfortable. I want them to feel like I'm their partner, because I am their partner. I remind them about the business cards. We have 43 slides in 20 minutes, so I'm going fast. I apologize. But if anyone wants a copy of these slides, let me know. We let them know that they can keep their brand. We tell them about the business cards. Here's probably one of the most important things I do. I send them our Fast Start training. I give them an onboard checklist. This video training, in all fairness, is probably overdue for an update because there has been some things that change. I would say it's 90%. It's going to teach them how to find their Regis office in their state. It gives them clear communication on what they need to do. Again, what happens after that? We do the production kickoff call. The way they get the production kickoff call, it's a text template. So I tell them, you're going to get a text from me, and in that text, there's going to be a link. And all you got to do is click on that link and schedule your call with Woods. So there's a link to Woods' calendar. On that kickoff call, they're going to reverse engineer the production goals. Again, I'm trying to identify this person's plan. I'm trying to help them get clarity, right? So we're going to create a lead generation plan. The number one goal is to eliminate all priority confusion. I feel like it's my job for them to know the number one thing that they need to do in order to get to their goal. I come from the Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. It's a great book. The concept is, where do you want to be in 5 years? What are you doing in the next 90 days to get there? Don't worry about the middle part. So I try to get them real clear on the next 90-day plan of action. So we're creating a 90-day action plan. This is the process. They click on the link in the email. They get on with Woods. They schedule the call. After that, we're going to do their funnel build out. Sorry, did I miss something? After that, we're going to do their funnel build out. This is the 8 stages of business. If anyone wants to copy this, I'll share it with them. This was probably one of our biggest masterpieces that was co-created, really quarterbacked by Jay, but it was a really great document for coaching real estate agents. So the philosophy here is every real estate agent is at a stage in their business, and in order to move to the next stage, they have to solve a problem, and this document helps you isolate the problem. And so we're using this with them, finding out where they are, what's the number one challenge they have in their business in order to get to the next stage. So we schedule the funnel build-out call. So we basically tell them our team is going to help you set up a website and build out your first funnel. We're going to set up your Facebook ads, landing pages, your follow-up campaigns, and we're going to do all that. That call happens with why Woods is on. When Woods does their plan, when they hang up the phone, they're scheduling that next call to get that funnel built out. We walk them through. Again, remember, I'm talking to a person that's kind of interested, right? Do you see how they could be getting more interested? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah, they're getting more interested. I say, here's an example of a funnel. This is a new construction funnel, but if you don't like that, we have 14 other funnels we can build for you. Right now, the 1 acre plus funnel's working. We have a waterfront funnel in Virginia Beach that working. It's also working Tampa. We have a hero funnel. We also have funnels where we can do, if you don't have a budget, if you can't invest in lead gen, there's some things that we can do, low cost, no cost, shoestring budget, free stuff that we can walk you through. Again, the goal is to help them get into production. Our goal is to help them sell a house quickly. There's a guy in here. I got a couple friends in here, but one guy in here in particular didn't sell a house last year, the year before. This is his first year. He was on my original real estate team, but this is his first year back into real estate. And I think he's at like $700,000 in gross commission for the year. Didn't even sell one home last year, right? So literally, If you can help people get clear, and that's not by doing 10 different things. This gentleman focused on one thing. So again, it's getting them real clear to focus and getting them into production. So we let them know our team is going to help them set up their website and build out their first funnel, obviously their Facebook ads. Then we plug them into the live training. The live training we provide is Expert Advisor Bootcamp, CHSA, which is Certified Home Selling Advisor. They're going to get their listing presentation, buyer presentation. They're going to be able to leverage the differentiated value proposition, which is a proven repeatable system backed by market research to sell your home for up to 18% more than the methods used by traditional agents. Would you like me to show you how? They're going to get all the NAE resources. The main thing is if you have somebody that is trained, I feel like you got to be trained in real estate like your job is to disarm bombs. You can't be partly trained. You can't give people leads who aren't trained. So we feel like it's our responsibility to train them and then provide them with opportunities, right? Does that make sense? All right. Then we plug them into a training library. We give them a syllabus. They're going to get the Digital President Inner Circle, marketing systems and training, and all the campaigns and strategies that they can leverage on social media. We have ongoing coaching every week. You're going to get able to plug into Tech and Traffic Tuesday. We're doing coaching calls on Thursday, expert mentors on Thursday. Those are run by Jay, John, and Woods. Then we plug them into our community, the Honey Badger community. We tell them there's a lot of referrals. Any Honey Badgers out there? Then we plug them into agent attraction training. I'm going to give everybody here my agent. Who wants my agent attraction training? It's fire. All right, so we'll plug them into the agent attraction training. The one thing is I will not get on a game plan call. Game plan call is trying to help someone get to their freedom number, which is build their passive income. I'm not getting on the call if you didn't write down 100 names. I don't care if you made them up, but if you didn't write down the 100 names and go through the training, then I'm not getting on the call with you. But if you do that, I'm committed to helping you lay out a game plan. So I do the game plan calls. Those are set up by Woods. On the game plan, here's the training. If you want the training, go ahead and hit that QR code. And it literally, you just put it, when you hit that, it's on a site. It goes, I don't know, it's probably 2 hours. It's broken up into 20 or 30 minutes. Y'all tell me when I can switch the slide. I'm joking. We'll count down. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Anyway, check it out. It's great training. So I plug them into the agent attraction training. They got to do the training before they get on the call with me. I'm not getting on the call with them if they didn't do the training and they didn't write the 100 names down. I know they're not committed. Dan Hillsman gets the #1 committed agent attraction training because he literally sends his well chart every single month since the day he got into real estate. That's called commitment. That's why he's done so well. We determine their freedom number, what's all their fixed expenses and how much money in passive income would they need in order to buy their time back and not have to do the things that they're currently doing, how they get off that transactional treadmill. So we determine that number, reverse engineer it. This is all part of the game plan. We let them know that they can print the wealth chart. This is the new wealth chart. You can go to, I think it's newwealthchart.com, and you can download a free copy. It's already ready to be printed. It's also in the training. I make them identify their top 100 if you want this. We do it by social, I guess it's by income. So when you're recruiting someone, it's different if you're going to recruit someone who's making less money than you versus making more money than you. Would you agree? It's a different approach. And so I go through their top 100. I find out who they are, what they do, and then a lot of the times I help them. There's a girl in the audience, Danielle. She calls me up. I'm going to tell this story. I wasn't going to lose this time. I'll tell it quick. She says, Michael, I got this guy. He's the biggest guy. I got to get him. So she goes on to tell me she didn't want to do. I said, I'll call you right back. I shot a video. And I said, hey, Danielle, I'm really wanting to partner with people up in your area. If you know any agent in your market that you think be a great partner, I got an opportunity of lifetime. Will you please send me their name? I said, walk into his office and play that video for him. She did, and she set the appointment. But that was a very specific situation where she was saying, I have this guy, and I was trying to think, okay, what can I do to help her get to him? And it worked. She set the meeting, right? So we lay out the top 100. We organize those people. Again, agent attraction training game plan call. Then I take them through I tell them about the 3. This is for people who are interested. If someone's not really interested in agent attraction, I don't force it on them. That's an important thing to know. I let them know we can do your game plan call. We can do it this month. We can do it next month. We can do it next year. That's up to you when you're ready. Some people say, can we do it next week? Some people call me 6 months later and said, hey, I'm ready. But that's on their time based upon where they are. After they've identified their top 100 and we created their game plan, we basically help them go after the low-hanging fruit. My goal, and again, I've challenged 2 people. I walked up to a buddy of mine. I said, I challenge you right now. Who's the number one person that you're the most scared to call? He said her name. Her name's Trisha Turner. Is Trisha in here? He said, Trisha Turner. I said, we're calling her in 9 minutes. I said, why are you scared to call her? She just opened her new office. She just had a new brand. She had 50 agents in Houston. I said, we're calling her in 9 minutes, bro. 9 minutes. We called her. She drove from Houston to Dallas and was at EXP in 14 days. 1 year later, same guy, we're telling the story. And I was like, hey, who would that be? Who would that person be today? Who would be the one? Oh, he said Steve Olsar in Utah. I said, we're calling him. We're calling him in 10 minutes. We called him. Steve was over by the next week. When people don't just do the basics, they're scared to just make a phone call. They're holding themselves back. So for me, I like to demonstrate it's real simple, right? Like, it's simple. You just have to know that it's like the book, Go for No, right? You just have to know how many no's do you need to get. So my goal on that call is to help build their confidence, help get them motivated, and help let them see how easy it is. This is the 3-way call training. I think it's at michaelreeseteam.com/3-way call. Please don't, there is a link to my calendar. Don't get in it, please. But you can go watch the training on the site. So, and the reason I put it there is that people, oh, I don't know how y'all did that. I didn't do that. I guess I get time back. Lost my slides, but we got a good video. There we go. All right, so 3-way call training. Again, I shot the first video. It was a very technical training. And then I get on a 3-way call and someone just messes it up. I write notes, all the things I wish he would have done different, and that goes into the new training. And every time there's a problem, I write it on a sticky. When the stickies get a lot in the pack, then the training gets updated. That's just how it works. All right, so let's see here. The last one is I created a system for doing the announcements for your agents. So I think it's at a subdomain, Michael Reese Team /. But this is where I'm sending people where they can schedule. Let's say I'm doing a podcast, an industry influencer. I think I interviewed a gentleman named Brian. He's going to go there. If I have a new partner, they just come in and they're brand new and they want to do their live announcement, they're going to click there. It's going to go right through the process. It's going to have them upload their photo. It's going to give me everything I need for the thumbnail. They're going to go through, everything's going to be there, so I just show up and we have everything we need in order to market it. There's a video on that page that is explaining to them why they do it that way. And then maybe I'm talking to someone here, they're in my downline, they're telling me how great of a year. I'm like, man, I want to interview you and share that. Hey, here's where you can schedule it. So I'm sending everybody to the same place, right? Again, when I'm talking to the prospect, I'm letting them know. So, and then next we're going to do your Facebook Live announcement. That's going to be real. And so I'm walking them through. So I'm kind of talking two narratives here to you guys. And finally, I'm telling them about the events. I'm telling them, hey, we're going to have the BUILD conference. We're going to have the NAEA Mastermind in USVI. We're going to have EXPCon in November. This is probably the most important slide, is inviting people to events is a game changer. It's a game changer. You should be inviting. I am making an invite funnel. If anyone wants a copy of it, I'd be more than delighted to give it to you. I'm making an invite funnel for EXPCon with Jimmy up here up front. We just shot Glenn in the back. The goal is to create a real small video. It's going to be about 3 minutes that you could send to somebody, and it's going to be a collection of people telling them why they need to come to EXPCon. I think you really, really, if you're not taking advantage, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a list, if you haven't called people, you should be trying to get as many people as you can to EXPCon in November. It's done. If you can get them there, it's done. If you don't know your customer acquisition costs, if you don't know what you can afford to spend to get a recruit, that's your responsibility. But I can tell you they're worth a lot of money, and you could afford to spend some money to get some people to that event. That's just my point of view. At the end of the day, I tell them when they partner with me, they're going to have my cell phone number. They can call anytime. Again, my goal is for them to know that they have access to my calendar, that I'm their partner, that I'm there to help them. They can call me, they can call Woods, they can call Jay. And at the end of the day, that's how I feel like you get somebody plugged in and get them up and running. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. My time's up.